really good CRM is often expensive. The program that I'm using was, we got started years and years ago when it was first brand new. It was first one out like it, and it's stayed ahead of its competition for many, many years. But there are other companies out there that are much cheaper that will do similar things. But if you don't have some kind of a management system to not only handle contacts, but also handle tasks, and also handle the loan process, or in your case, it would be the sales process. So you can actually have task lists that come up when you need them. You have reminders that come up to you when you need them. If somebody clicks on a particular section in an email, you get instantly notified. If somebody clicks on a particular link in an email, the email sequence that they're maybe getting right now stops, and it starts a completely different email sequence in order to keep the emails coming to that borrower or that client in the most relevant way possible. We've all seen junk and spam emails, so you don't want it to appear that way. We want messages in the customer relationship management system going out to our actual borrowers. We want that information to be extremely relevant. So when they're getting an approval, for example, for their loan, we can tell them in no uncertain circumstances, what does that mean? What can you expect? What should you be doing now? What should you be thinking about? And we're giving them different things. Like, for example, when a loan is approved in a purchase transaction, we're sending them a moving checklist along with videos to try to explain the process. Even explaining every single detail of the loan makes people feel more comfortable, and someone who feels more comfortable, more knowledgeable about a transaction feels better about it.
Let me give you a quick example of Keap, K-E-A-P, formerly known as Infusionsoft. So this is an example of a updated sales stage sequence campaigns that I have here. On the left-hand side, it's for the purchases. On the right-hand side, it would be for refinances. As a realtor, on the left-hand side, you might have purchases. On the right-hand side, you might have listings. So you have different campaigns, one for purchasing and one for listings. And as an example, the very first sales stage campaign is a brand new lead coming in. And in this case, it would be for a buyer. Could be the same thing for you, and you want certain things to happen at that time. So as you open up this sales stage sequence, you're going to have a campaign of all kinds of things in here. You have emails. A lot of these are emails. Some of them are tasks. Some of them are text messages. There's a lot of things that can be done. In fact, a really strong CRM can do not only email messages to the buyer and to the spouse, but also text messages to anybody. It can also do set up a task in somebody's task list. It can set up something in somebody's calendar automatically. It'll send an automatic email when the sales stage changes. So I'll go over that in just a minute. But in this particular case, is an email going out to the borrower, one going out to the spouse, a text message reminding the borrower and the spouse that they have an email, and this is in fact the application. So it gives them the ability to go ahead and create or start a secure application. I'm also sending an email directly to the referral partner, which may or may not be the real estate agent involved, but would also send a message to the real estate agent involved. And then, of course, a few days later, you have another email reminding them, if they have not done the application yet, to do the application, one going to the borrower, one going to the spouse. And a few days later, you have another reminder. These emails are designed to be informative. They're not exactly the same. Some of them have videos. And of course, then there's a task that's created for me or Roxann so that we can be notified that after 3 emails, someone in the purchase new lead sales stage has not filled out an application that allows us to do what we need to do. And then, of course, for as long as they are in this stage, they're going to get different emails at different times, just to keep them engaged. Maybe they're not ready to do the application yet, but we want to keep them engaged until a certain point where we decide, okay, we're going to just put them on a long-term newsletter drip campaign, and we're going to hope that that's going to keep them engaged so that we're ready to go when they're ready to go. Now, I'll give you another example. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. So let's just say, for example, they've gone through these sales stages from new lead. They've gone into maybe a nurture sequence for somebody who says they're going to buy in 3 to 6 months maybe, or they've gone straight into the sales stage where we're collecting documents. There's an MLO or mortgage loan officer pre-approval, where we don't have all the documents yet. Then there's a shopping stage. That's when we have all the documents. Again, each one of these stages have a lot of emails. A lot of things can happen. Text messages can go out. Voice broadcasts can go out. Different things can go out. And the emails are designed to be informative as well as sometimes humorous, in order to keep their engagement. That's the whole intention of this. So for example, in this particular case, if the borrower then goes into contract with one of the realtors that we're working with, as soon as they go into contract, we set up their file with all of the people who are involved, and we move them into this sales stage. It's a little bit different though. See, look at all the people getting information. The buyer, the buyer's spouse. Then we have the introduction to the buyer's agent, the buyer's agent transaction coordinator, the seller's agent. Here's the seller and buyer TC, like I said. Let's start over. Look at all the information that's going out to the right people. This is the buyer's getting an email. Congratulations, you're in contract. There's going to be some video in there, some information. The buyer's spouse is getting an email. The buyer's agent is getting an email. The seller's agent is getting an email. The buyer's transaction coordinator is getting an email. The seller's transaction coordinator is getting an email. And we're also sending information out to the escrow officer, the new escrow officer, any assistance he or she has. And then we're introducing the processor throughout this process. So we're doing everything we can in the very beginning to make everyone know what's happening, and also to create a professional relationship with everybody involved as we're getting started with this transaction. Let me give you a quick example of how these are created. I'll just open up a blank screen here. If you're going to be moving into or out of a sales stage, you have a goal, opportunity, sales stage, moved, and then you're going to create a email sequence, and inside here you're going to create email after email, and you can actually put timers in there, and you can create more emails, and you can do what you have to do. You can create a fax if you want to send a fax out to somebody. You can mail a letter if you want to mail a letter out to somebody. You can send a text message if you want to send a text message to somebody. You can apply a tag if you need to apply a tag, and it just keeps on going. If you need to add somebody in here, it's easy to add. You're just going to take them out. And again, you can do anything here, from emails, fax, letters, text messages. You can even send a voice broadcast. There's so many things you can do. And then once you're done with this email sequence, you go back and you want this sequence to start when somebody goes into that sales stage and end when somebody comes out of that sales stage. So you're going to be setting this up to move into the sales stage. You'll set up this to move out of the sales stage, and you're ready to go. But you can also do all kinds of other things. So for example, if a tag is applied, and a tag could be applied by simply somebody clicking on a section in an email. And if they do click on that section, they get automatically tagged for something, and then we start a new sequence of emails, or again, anything from fax to text to letters to whatever we want to have set up to be able to follow up with this person properly. We also have a sequence for credit repair up here. If somebody's getting their credit repaired, we follow up with them. We have tasks that show up in our task list at certain stages to remind us to call them to check on their credit repair process, so we can bring them back to you as an agent ready to go. And of course, we have the cancel loan transaction, which means somebody's decided they're not going to buy a home. They're just canceling altogether. Has its own sequence of events, sequence of emails, some videos, some humorous videos, letting them know we're fun people too. And if they're ready in the future, we want to be available for them. And then they automatically go into our newsletter sequence, which is a once a month email that keeps them engaged throughout the years ahead, hopefully.